the volunteer facilitator of the New Jersey Writers Resource Group, which is the host writing group for today's event, along with the Margaret E. Hagan Library. Thank you, library, for giving us a place to do this. And the furniture, obviously, so that we're not all standing milling around like mice. So, welcome everybody. And this first panel has to do with nonfiction books and children's books. So we have a collection of different authors, all with their own experiences, and they're all with their own stories to tell. So, with no further ado, we shall get started. I'm the moderator, so I'll be sort of passing the questions along, and at some point after we get through the first set of questions, we'll be opening up the floor to the attendants, and it'll be your turn to pick our brains. So hopefully by then you'll have some really good questions once we've sort of warmed you up too as well. All right, so we're gonna go down the table, and they're each gonna introduce themselves, give us a little background about who they are, where they're from, and what books they have or what they like to write, okay? And then we'll go from there. All right, briefly introduce yourself, your book titles, and genre. My name is Laura Kane, and I started writing science fiction when I was a child, but when it came to actually putting some stories together, my storytelling days and all the stories that I've been sharing for many years with various audiences, mostly children, I decided to put a collection, an anthology together of nature and family stories, all with sort of nature themes involved, outdoors and all that stuff. And that was the impetus for Rabbit's Tale and other rites of passage, parables from modern age. And I do also write science fiction, and I have a trilogy of young adult urban fantasy stories with Shapeshifter. So we'll get into that on the second panel. Moving on, we have, oh, I can't see your names, Karen. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Karen Castaneda. I'm actually from Pennsylvania, Bucks County. And I really started writing because of my mother. I really never thought I would be a writer, but it was her dream to be a writer, and she really wanted to write children's books. So she passed away suddenly, and I kind of decided that I wanted to take her dream and make it a reality. So I actually put this book together in a matter of probably about 2 weeks. The idea just flowed. I mean, it was like you write down a sentence and then you have a writer's block and you can't do anything. And then all of a sudden, in a period of 2 weeks, I had the whole thing written, and I gave it to my daughter and I said, what do you think? You know, just help me out here, what do you think? And with her thoughts, we kind of changed a couple little things around, and then I started searching for publishers. And,
well, we'll get into more detail of that, of course. Sorry, Carrie?
Hi, I'm Carrie Gant, and I live up in the Mount Holly, Cherry Hill area up there. I have a couple books. This is a middle grade book. It's a retelling of Wizard of Oz, so it's a mix of science fiction and fantasy. This is actually a nonfiction book. It's genealogy, my father's side of the family. My mother's bugging me for her book now. And I also have an anthology that one of my short stories appears in back at the table. It's a young adult level short story, but a lot of the rest of them are, mainstream adult short stories. That's not a kid's anthology. So that's what I have.
Jane?
I'm Jane Mayer Luder. This is my grandmother, and I inherited all her photographs a long time ago. So what I did is I made it in a photo album so I can distribute it to our extended family. And it's
So like a little history, right?
Yeah, it's a little history. It's a little, it's all the photographic album that she had, and so I put them all together and so share with the extended family.
And your background is you're also
a photographer. I do photo restoration and photography, and so I'm used to doing this.
We all have our own backgrounds and interests and hobbies that all sort of spill into our book, so highlighting all those other talents is also why we're here, so I'm more than welcome to talk about that along the way. Moving on.
Hi, I'm Linda Silver. I'm actually over 40 years graphic designer and illustrator. Started writing about 8 years ago, and I love it. I'm a member of New Jersey Writers Resource Group. And my book is about, it's a children's book, obviously, and it addresses the topic of autism to children.
My name is E.P. Bell. Good morning. I'm thrilled to be with all of you here today. So, just by show of hands, I'm just kind of curious with everyone that's here. Anyone here suffered challenges, losses, adversity?
I think everybody
Right?
You posed it so well.
Everybody does. You know, really,
Exactly.
loss is a world equalizer. It is impossible to get away from it. Everyone in a lifetime will have multiple tragic losses as well. And so my book, Over 40 Lost 30, is a personal growth journey. So what I hope to do is really empower people to move forward and grow beyond their losses.
We'll talk a little bit more about that now. Going on onward for the next question.